What's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short. These will be channeled messages for the collective. Only take what resonates to and for you. Leave what doesn't. Of course, if you were guided to this, there's something here for you. Use your discernment and your intuition to decipher what that is. There are no coincidences. You're led to see certain things for a reason, for a purpose. It's up to you to decipher what that is. And you, of course, are responsible for your actions and reactions to any kind of spiritual guidance, readings, messages, and etc. So with all of that jazz out of the way, if you like the vibe here, if you love the energy here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You, of course, can donate towards the channel as an energy exchange. And, of course, if you wish to book a personal reading or soul session, you can do so through my website. With all of that out the way, we're going to hop into this reading. We are tapping into the hidden self, what your hidden self wants you to know and wants you to pay attention to, or rather what's coming in. Then we're going to get into some angel numbers, and we're going to dive a little deeper into your higher self messages and divine messages as we go. So starting off, what channeled in before we even hop into the cards. This energy has been coming in strong, not only for people in their personal readings, but just for the collective in general. Keeping things on the hush hush, not telling all of your plans. I feel like a lot of you, this energy of moving has not went away. It's not going to go away. It's going to be consistent all throughout this year into early next year. This energy of people either moving mentally past certain situations and or physically moving, like getting a new house, apartment, moving to another state. During the pandemic, some people were in panic about moves that they had planned. They didn't know if they were going to be able to fully go through with them. Some were panicking because they were moving right in the midst of the pandemic. But one of the bigger things that have taken place is, a lot of people were forced to have to stay indoor or stay restricted to a certain area. And what that did was that forced you to realize you don't want to be stuck. You don't want to stay. You used to make excuses to kind of stay where you were. And now you're realizing, you know what, it's best to just get up and get out. Because if ever I had to be on a lockdown for any reason, I'd rather it be in a place where I feel like I can still grow and expand versus a place I always felt trapped in. A lot of times people say things like, I feel trapped, I feel stuck. And you don't really know what that is until life gives you a moment where you're like legit stuck. And that was what the pandemic was for a lot of people. So that channeled in this whole, a lot of people moving, making moves. Now in the making move area, again, I'm gonna put it this way. If you are moving to a new house or a new state, some people don't need to know that until you've actually moved. Your stuff is already in the new home. It's yours. It's been finalized. The rent, first month's rent is paid. The mortgage is done. If you paid the mortgage off, even better. But it's just already done. And when they look up, you'll be in that new location. There are a lot of people who are jealous of this collective that's channeling in. Some of them don't really have a genuine reason to be jealous of you. Really, honestly, most of the time, people don't have a genuine reason to be jealous. Jealous is a human emotion. It's not really something that had a place until humans invented a reason for it to. So with that being said, some people are just mad at your success and they don't realize what you put into getting to where you're going. So I know some things you guys are working on, you have to talk about. Like, for example, if you're doing an event and you want to sell tickets, you have to tell people. But all the ins and outs and details of that don't need to be revealed until the event takes place. So time, location is one thing. What the theme is even one thing. But as far as like, oh, this is what we're going to have and that's what we're going to have. Shh, don't say nothing. People will figure it out when they go. Because along with jealousy, I'm seeing people wanting to steal ideas. This has been happening a lot within the spiritual community when it comes to like deck creators. There are people who are having their whole brand, copied or just still stolen. And it's one thing when you can prove something is yours. It's another thing when it's just talk. You're just kind of talking about it and you've given away way too many details and then somebody goes and steals it. Because even if you have paperwork to show you did what first, it's the fact that they stole it. It's the fact that it's a hassle. Now you're in this energy you don't need to be in. So certain business plans, certain moves, whether it's money moves, physical moves, mental moves, not everyone needs to know that. And yes, I am also talking about some of y'all relatives. Not all of y'all have a supportive family. That's just what it is. Y'all came here for honesty, clarity, and guidance, and that's what I'm going to give you. You know this already, but because they're fam, and sometimes some of y'all are easy to guilt into talking about things or guilt into revealing something, nah. Keep it to yourself. Your hidden self, your higher self wants you to understand this. What is the hidden self? The hidden self is another aspect of the higher self. It's not quite the shadow you. It's a little different, though it can balance with that side of you. It's normally whenever we talk about like the high priestess and that hidden knowledge that she has, that in between world between the physical and the spiritual, that's where your hidden self tends to reside. So it's the part of you that you rarely ever give notice to or ever tap into, and we're tapping into it now to find out what it is you need to know. Okay, and that was one of the main things channeling it for you guys to know. So don't be shocked if, whether it's me, whether it's, someone else, if you constantly keep hearing about this whole keep it to yourself. Shh. Unless it's like little details that you have to reveal because you're selling tickets for an event, cool. But for a lot of you that are moving, okay, you could tap into your own intuition to confirm this. Some of you are led here, you're going to go, I was just thinking that. If you're moving somewhere, not everyone, including some family members, need to know. They can know when you've actually gotten a new place. And here's the other thing to that this just came in. If you know that there are people you don't mess with because they're toxic, boo-boo, don't invite them to your new place. Don't invite them to your event. Don't be that person. Don't sit up there and do it for petty reasons like, oh, I'm showing off my place, or, oh, I want them to come and see how successful I am. You know what? They can hear that through the grapevine at another time. You don't invite energy into your space that doesn't belong into your space. Now, if they buy a ticket and they appear there on their own, that's their own whatever. But to purposely have them come in just so you could be like, that's going to backfire, first of all. And second of all, even when you have an event where you can't predict the type of energies or people who are coming in, always set up protection, always set up, don't just affirm it. Bless your space, prepare your mentality to only allow for the encouragement you need to come in, nothing that means your soul harm, nothing that means your mental or physical state harm. That way, if there are people who show up and they're still being negative or whatever, they can be handled by the divine. They can be checked at the door. But don't invite somebody in. Don't invite your enemy into your sacred space. And anything that you're working on right now, it's coming from a sacred space. Therefore, it is a part of your sacred space. Okay, now that we have that out the way, let's tap into your cards. Let's see what we have here. We have the Tower, sudden changes and sudden upheavals. I want you to notice something. You see how she's reaching her hand out? I'm hoping my camera's focusing. See how she's reaching her hand out? When the Tower happens, and I've been having to point this out a lot lately, you have two choices a lot of times. If you notice in the traditional card, there's more than one person falling. A lot of times it's two people. One person took the leap. They jumped out on their own. They realized, you know what, the building's on fire. I'd rather jump out of a window that I know, I'm going to land somewhere where it breaks my fall. I might get some bruises and bumps, but I survive it. I can get back up. The other person is indecisive. They kind of get blown, or it's just caught. They're completely off guard. They don't know what to do, and they're just blown out the window. And then sometimes there's that third option. That third option is when you've been so indecisive, you've never taken the leap, you're kind of like a deer in headlights, and the divine goes, okay, I'm going to toss you out on purpose. And wherever you get thrown, it's where you need to be. But whatever that struggle also is for you to come through is a struggle that you have to come through because you weren't listening all the other times. This person has her hands out as if she's about to take that leap out that tower, and she's saying, come with me. Don't stay in this building that's crumbling. You can't run back downstairs. It's imploding on itself. You're gonna get crushed. You might as well just take the leap out with me. Let me help you break your fall. This is the divine saying, listen, whatever unexpected thing takes place right now, instead of focusing on how uncomfortable it is, instead of focusing on what you may believe is chaotic, because a lot of times for some people, towers can feel very chaotic, whether they really are or not. It's all about perception, right? But she's pretty much saying, look, jump out with me. Take this leap with me. Yes, it's sudden. Yes, it's going to be unpredictable. Yeah, this foundation is crumbling, but you know what? It was a faulty foundation to begin with. I always say tower moments a lot of times are like people tried to put a carpet over a big ass hole in the floor, and people are walking over it all day, not realizing that you're walking on a floor that's caving in. It's going to cave in at some point. It's supposed to. And tower moments happen throughout life, period. They don't always have to be these dramatic, painful things, but they are sudden, they are unplanned, and they do take you out of your comfort zone. So instead of fighting that, flow with that, right? That's actually how you gain real control. Real control comes from, do you have the power to not only let power go, but do you have the power to accept your true power, your true instinct, your true being? Because the power to let power go is to say, in a moment where normally I like to have control, in a moment where I normally like to dictate everything or be able to just have whatever I want, I can say, you know what, I'll let that go and let someone else get the shine, or let it go. It's no longer my problem. Remember what we were talking about keeping certain things secret and not allowing certain people in your space. If you got to let certain friends go, let them go. Don't keep holding on to people that are holding you back and then complaining that you're stuck or that you can't get anywhere in your life. You are cursing yourself with your own mouth and your own actions. And there's no one else to hold responsible for that but you. No enemy can take you down without some form of your assistance. So the key is to allow yourself to awaken. Allow that hidden instinct to come to the forefront so it can show you what you need in order to tap into the higher part of your awakening. You'll realize certain things aren't worth arguing about. Certain things aren't worth holding on to. Some of you might have lost really important things to you, like sentimental possessions, due to somebody just taking them from you, or some type of tragedy or something taking place that you couldn't control, and you're stuck on only viewing that. And you're being told, but that's no, the lesson is to not stay stuck on that. The lesson is to see that that thing you lost, you really didn't need. And you know what? If it's divinely for you, it will come back to you. And when it comes back better than what you had. It comes back renewed. It comes back refreshed. So allow for this breakdown to happen. There's beauty in the breakdown. I keep hearing that. So let go and let go. Just jump in. Oh, what you're waiting for. It's alright. 'Cause there's beauty in the breakdown. Like, just accept the beauty in the breakdown, okay? Let's hop into the next card. I'm only going to do 2. We're over here. Up. We have the Emperor. Look at her. She's just like, darling. This reading is really for divine masculines and feminines in the collective. But when we're talking about tapping into hidden knowledge and hidden natures, intuitive, we are talking about tapping into that creator energy of the divine feminine. So whether you're a masculine, this is to help you get in tune with that part of self. If you're the divine feminine, this is to help you get in tune. But the Emperor is perfect coming in here because the Emperor represents masculine energy, divine masculine energy and order. And like I've told you guys before, if you follow my podcast, masculine energy is just that. A part of, the aspect of it is order and playfulness. And she looks not only a little playful and a little coy, but I want you to also notice how she looks like she got some secrets that she's not revealing, some things that she's keeping to herself. She know everybody don't need to know her business. This is also a lot of you taking leadership and ownership in your own actions, not just actions that could have had a negative effect in the past, because a part of healing it is to acknowledge it. But this is also about, there might have been things lately that you've been holding back on taking the lead on because, quite frankly, you don't want the responsibility of it. You keep making excuses about that. And you're being told by that hidden self, no, sit on that throne. That's your throne. That's your crown. Why are you allowing other people to just pretty much mess on what's rightfully yours? You don't have to be forceful. Again, if you're working on something in secret that's going to pay off, it could be an investment you made, getting a new home, whatever it is, it's going to be your throne, your palace, your kingdom. There's no need to keep allowing other people to try to sit in your seat. It's yours. So why are you intimidated by responsibility of what's rightfully yours? Let that marinate for a good second. Why are you intimidated about accepting the responsibility for what's rightfully yours? What not only puts you on your soul path, because let me explain something. The hidden self doesn't play around. The hidden self doesn't have time for jokes and games. It'll tell you like it is all day, every day. It's the part of the subconscious mind that is completely tapped in. It can look over at its inner divine light, its light body, at any given moment. Okay, at any given moment. Just because it's not on the surface and it's not going peekaboo with everybody doesn't mean that it doesn't have the tea, it doesn't have the juice. And it's here letting you know, I can take the lead when I need to take the lead. I know when to do it. I know when to sit on my throne and say, hey, I'm an authority figure here, and I know when to just be quiet and listen. And both are required here. She's quietly listening. She got a few secrets, a few things she know in her head. She's calculating a plan. I'm actually hearing, I'm thinking of a master plan. So one of y'all just thought that, or you might have been listening to what's his name? Is it Rakim? Rakim? I think it's Rakim. You know, I'm thinking of a master plan. Like a lot of y'all are really sitting there playing that verse over and over in your head. Keep it right there. Keep it in the mind. Visualize it. Write it down. Feel it vibrationally. What would it feel like to have that seat? What would it feel like to truly, again, do you have the power to accept your true power and let go of false power? Let go of false ideals. Let go of false weaknesses. Do you have that power? It's pretty much like an oxymoron question, because obviously you do. You're an abundant being, you're a divine being, but can you acknowledge it? Can you allow yourself to acknowledge it? Once you do that, doors just open. So right now might be that upheaval, right? Right now might be that let the breakdown happen. There's beauty in the breakdown. You can't help everybody. Some of you, it involves you helping other people, and you just don't have enough. Like you've got to do something for self. You know that saying is the truth. You can't help others until you learn how to help yourself. As you help yourself, you are helping others. Because when we truly stand in self-love, we're standing in a universal love. We're standing in unity with love itself. We start to do things from our heart space. We don't allow our mind to distract us. We don't allow for this physical 3D world to be the be all to end all. We realize there's other dimensions. We realize there's higher planes. We realize that this current incarnation is sacred, and we do have to work on it and provide certain things, and we are provided for by certain things with it. But we are multidimensional beings. We can go anywhere we want to go, interdimensional, etc. We're not limited. When we take the brakes off and we allow ourselves to accept that, to truly accept it, is to have self-love, is to have care and compassion for other people, and realize that when you're in a position where you can take care of yourself, it becomes easier to help another. Now, I'm not saying to like ignore a person if, you know, they need you to hold the door open or something. But as far as wearing yourself thin by trying to give to so many people at once, especially people who are unappreciative, that's a give and take relationship, my love. You're giving, they're taking. You get nothing in return. I don't just mean nothing in return as far as expect them to necessarily do the same, but energetically. There's no energetic exchange. You are wearing yourself down. And it puts you in this mentality of feeling like, oh, I've lost so much energy. Oh, I'm so depleted. Oh, I can't move. Oh, I can't. Remove it from your vocabulary. And sometimes in order to do that, you have to cut certain ties. You have to let certain faulty foundations crumble, right? You have to let the old empire go. Because when you stand in that emperor energy, that emperor brings in order through authority. Not saying that you have to control people, but that emperor, if somebody comes up in his place being disrespectful, he removes them. If a person wants to come in on some bull, it's not accepted. They're rejected before they get to the door. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for you at the door. Honey, you couldn't get to the door. I don't see how you can hate outside the club. You couldn't even get in. How you gonna hate? Like, you couldn't even get to the door to attempt to get in the first place. That's how an emperor really runs their sacred space. They bring in the order. You can be playful, you can have all the fun you want to in that space, but you don't allow people to come in and, you know, murky it up and make it toxic. And I'm talking fast because the energies are coming in fast right now. Some of you might be people that also talk really fast when you're like excited, or even when you're worried. Sometimes you might talk really fast, because I feel like I'm stumbling on words and talking fast at the same time. But we're gonna try to breathe it in, calm it down just a tad, and we're gonna hop into the other side of the messages, because y'all are on 10 right now. And look at that bottom of the deck card, the Magician. You are the creator of your reality. And look at this. What I say about you can't get in, I don't know how you're gonna hate outside the club. You can't even get in, honey. Look at this. She is fully protected. She's like, as I'm creating my universe in secret, as I'm molding what it is I need to mold, there is no enemy that can trespass here. There's no one that can do me harm that's allowed in here. I cut those ties. The divine reached his hand out and said, darling, are you going to jump with us? And I said, okay, yeah. That's pretty much what your hidden self is saying right now. Like, yeah, I'll go. Again, I keep hearing that there's beauty in the breakdown. There's beauty in the breakdown. Somebody might have had a breakdown recently. That may be a little bit of a trigger, but triggers are things you're meant to face and let go, not hide from, not just become emotional about. Most importantly, and this is something that a lot of you in this collective need to pay attention to, especially in the next coming weeks, because we still have a lot of, not only do we have Mercury retrograde, but we have a lot of other things going on. No one else is responsible for your triggers, especially when there are people who didn't contribute to them. So stop taking your triggers out on someone else. Face your triggers. Where did they come from? Why are they there? What's the truth? Right? Did you play a part in it? Because it's not always just someone else. There's something you might have accepted, something that you allowed into your essence, into your being. It's not really of you, and it's time to cleanse it out and let it go. And as you learn the lesson and you do that, you step into your higher power. And that's very important here with this message. I'm sensing a lot of cosmic energy, a lot of astrology energy here. So some of you might be really into astrology, really into a lot of the different deities of the stars, a lot of different, planets, Pleiadians, Sirius. I'm picking up a lot of Sirius energy. People from that energy and from that place tend to always feel like they have unfinished business, because back then in that lifetime you had unfinished business. So it's important to acknowledge that. We have, look at this. I love the synchronicities. You're going to master your material reality in the future. Why? Because you're manifesting something amazing right now. I don't want to cover the sacred geometry. I'm being told not to cover it. You're mastering something amazing right now. You're tapping into energies that they might be overwhelming, but you need to tap into them. And it becomes easier as it goes. As you level up, it gets easier. Our planet is shifting. As the planet shifts, we shift. People of low vibrational energy are struggling to maintain, because people of low vibrational energy collaborate with entities of low vibration. They help to create them. And they have to feed off of jealousy, envy, greed. They feed off of all of that. And right now, you're choosing to no longer supply them food, nourishment. Instead, you're going to give nourishment to that hidden power, to the higher self. You're going to give nourishment to your own mind, to the people who, again, a part of our divine purpose is to find our personal purpose, which is the career you want, or when you think of your legacy, how do you want people to remember you? That type of thing. Keep in mind that the second part to that is how it helps the collective. How are you contributing service? Because we're here on Earth, in this school of Earth, to also figure out how to stay connected and how to reconnect whatever might have been lost, to gather in true unity. And true unity isn't something that's controlled or manipulated. You might have to give guidance from time to time. You may have to be guided from time to time, but it's to enhance each other, to grow, to expand. This energy is like, I'm really hot right now, but it's like a how can I describe this heat? I always say it's like the heat that's under the skin, but this is interesting because it kind of feels like it's under my muscles, like it's close to my bones. If that makes sense, if someone else can feel the same thing. Look at this. The sacrifices you make today will be worth it. What I say about that tower? There's beauty in the breakdown. The sacrifices you make today will be worth it. The people that you had to let go of. That moment that you thought was so chaotic, you didn't know how it was going to work out or how you were going to survive it. Stop focusing on just that aspect. What is the lesson here? Most importantly, every lesson comes with a blessing. It doesn't matter what it is, how crazy, how hectic, even some of the things that can just feel dark, twisted, and dim. There is some type of lesson, and once you figure out the lesson, you find the blessing. And that's what you take with you. Not the pain, not the trauma, but all the other stuff. Okay, we have your stepping into a brand new chapter, more like you're shooting off into a brand new chapter. Wasn't I just speaking about New Earth? new earth energy. We're channeling new earth energy here. And it's time for those of us who are meant to be in strong leading positions to stand in that position. And we've all struggled with it at some point. We've all went through a period where we're like, hey man, we don't want the spotlight on us. Most of us who are light workers and star seeds and etc., a lot of you here are star seeds. You know, that's the point. And I want to give you this is very important. I will do a podcast on this, but I really want you guys to meditate on this, okay? For those of you that resonate with being a star seed, because I keep picking up that a lot of you are into like the cosmos and etc. You're not meant to stay a seed forever, my love. That's no seed stays a seed forever. You were planted here so that you can spark creativity, so that you can tap into your hidden powers and therefore help and teach others to do it. Now, this may not necessarily mean that you're meant to be a mentor, though some of you watching do want to do that. You've been through things in your life where you're the perfect person for it. You're the perfect speaker and etc. on how to come out of a situation. But some of you are meant to let your situation go, meaning you're meant to evolve past that. So you're not here to just keep telling the story of how you got from point A to point B. I'm seeing figures like Lisa Nichols, right? You're not meant to just do that, to just say, I was once this way and now I'm that way. Whatever your dream is, I don't care if you want to do art, if it's traveling. Even in traveling, you can help people see other locations through your spirit. What does the world look like when you're traveling to places and you're doing it with cosmic energy? You're doing it as a multi-dimensional being and not just this one way of thinking, one temperament person, but you're actually allowing yourself to feel the joy and essence and even sometimes the pain of other places. You can bring a different kind of sympathy, a different kind of connection to that place. And most importantly, you leave a memory with every person you come in contact with, because whether a person says it or not, everyone we interact with, even the people who did us dirty, we mean something. We play a major role. We might have been a lesson that they were meant, a blessing, a lesson that they were meant to learn from it. Whether they did or not is their own fault. But what we're supposed to take from it is the lessons we gained as well, so we can move forward. Star seeds are meant to sprout at some point, and we're nearing that sprouting stage for many. Some of us, we're already in the process, but many others are starting to reach that point. So your dreams are important right now. A lot of people go, I don't remember my dreams. Stop saying you don't remember your dreams and you'll start remembering your dreams. There's hints of what you dream about taking place around you throughout your day. There's conversations that feel like deja vu. You know you didn't have them before. You probably talked about it in a dream. I just saw 2727, right? So pay attention to the subtle energies around you. Don't become obsessed with it. Just let it flow. Notice when something just keeps popping in your mind over and over, certain songs, certain poems. Some of you love poems. What did that poem mean to you when you first heard it? What does it mean to you now? And as you evolve, sometimes revisit certain songs and certain things and see how you've either grown maybe out of it or how the meaning has expanded to you. Because again, if you resonate with being a seed or any kind of indigo child, etc., you aren't meant to stay in that infancy, in that right before sprouting energy forever. You're meant to grow and expand. Okay? That had to be said for some of you. And now I'm going to try to speed this along. Because like I said, this is, it's starting to turn into like a warm heat now. Like really warm heat. We have true love will find you in the end. Family connections. This is Mercury energy. Family connections. True friends. People who will support you in your endeavors. If you need to break the rules, to do it with conviction. What did we do? What did I say about the tower, the jumping? Some people are too indecisive. Some people jump and some are too busy thinking about it. So sometimes the divine goes, you know what? We gave you enough chances to make the decision on your own. Now we're going to blast you in a direction. It'll be up to you how you handle that. But we needed you to see that we meant business the first time, the second time, the fifth time. It's time for you to get on board. Right? You can make a difference here, but you have to stick to your convictions. I'm sort of picking up on Taurus energy, so that brings in like the Hierophant. The Hierophant for me in my readings, when it's channeling in the energies, it stands for not only traditions, it actually can stand for breaking traditions. It can also stand for needing to tap into a higher source and realize that you are divinely guided and that you are divinely protected, that you yourself are divine. Sometimes it is your own self guiding you. We're all different mirrors of each other in the tapestry. But a lot of times the hidden self and that light body self literally will put certain obstacles. Think of them kind of like because I'm seeing him so clearly right now, like I say Papa Ganesh, but like Lord Ganesh, right? He removes obstacles, but every now and then, if you weren't listening, he'll put an obstacle there just so that you have to figure it out like a puzzle. And then once you get through, once you learn the lesson, you learn to appreciate when obstacles are removed again. So somebody here needed to hear that, needed to feel that. Let's get into some angel numbers. I already saw what I say 2727 earlier, so I like to try not to let these readings be too long since they are for the collective, but research those numbers, the power of the 2 and the 7 combined together. Okay, let's see what other angel numbers come out here. Thank you. So grateful to the energies that are channeling in right now. So grateful to the higher self of these beautiful souls that are watching. And we have 333. You are being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker, boom, assisting all of humanity. Live your truth and be a positive light to others. I am powerful. Do you have the power to let false power go and accept your true power? Boom, boom. And then we have, oh, my year, 88. You are on the cusp of a prosperous and abundant spiritual life. You will find numerous opportunities for success and achievement, all of which being financial and material abundance into your life, all of which bring financial. So someone else, the fact that my year came out and I felt the need to say that means somebody here is an 88 baby, or the year 1988 was like really important to you for something. I am wealthy. So somebody could have been like a kid, maybe like 9 or so in 1988, and maybe something really inspiring took place. We have I am kind-hearted at the bottom of the deck, number 18. The 1 and the 8 is a 9. So someone could also have been born in September. Virgo energy brings in practicality. So even if your zodiac wasn't mentioned here, even if you're not an Aries or a Taurus or any of that, it's about the attributes. Aries comes in with Mars energy. Mars energy has courage, power, strength, even lust is a part of Mars energy, believe it or not, right? And we have the Emperor here, and the Emperor, the key is to recognize the difference between your desires and your lust, but that's a topic for another time, right? And then, of course, we also had Taurus coming in. Tauruses can be stubborn, but let me tell you something. Tauruses is about their money. Now, they can help you with the business plan now. That not only do they have a lot of convictions once they do commit to something, but also they come in with the King of Pentacles energy, the give and receive. It's not about give and take, it's about give and receive. Who's giving to you and you're really receiving it, and who are you giving to that's really receiving it? Sometimes receiving means paying it forward. Sometimes receiving can just be coming to you and saying, I am so appreciative of everything that you do, and I just wanted you to know that. Because that in of itself helps to shift the energy that your mind and body starts to focus on. So receiving isn't always about them coming and putting something material in your hand. But obviously, with this energy, we do have financial abundance coming in here. So those are things to remind yourself of. I am powerful. I am wealthy. I am kind-hearted. So I cannot be corrupted. I cannot be swayed from my path. I choose to follow my North Node. I stand in my power fully with the power to let go of false power, ego, and anything else like that. Ego has its place, right? But you don't want to get caught up in thinking that you have to control other people or be controlled by other people in order to have a purpose. The moment that you decided to exist, the moment the divine and you collaborated for you to come together and exist in any form, least of all this one, you already had a divine purpose. And that is your readings, my love. It's raining, it's cleansing. Accept the cleansiness of this rain. I don't know if y'all can hear it in the background, but it started raining harder the more the message started coming through. So may you all find peace, tranquility, and all these different moves you're making in your life. Keep certain things on the download. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls.